Welcome to the zone. Hey, I'm Larry Spellman. Alongside is Miss Becca Cordini, and you, no doubt, have just been locked into the zone.
All right, and we are happy to be with you this week. And we are finishing up our 5-part series on sex in young America. Now we are talking about boundaries, physical boundaries. Should we have them in a relationship? And if so, what should they be? But Michael, we want to hear your video lineup first.
As always, it's off the Heezy for Sheezy. If you don't believe me, you better check it out. We got Ursu, we got Benjamin Gate, and we got Spoken. But before I tell you anything else, I'm going to kick it over to my dog Mike and let him tell you what's up.
Did you say easy but cheesy? Yeah. First up is GS Megaphone. That's God-sized megaphone with Use Me right here on the zone. So watch it. Keep it in.
Time and again, in this truth there is no debate. My life I love, but my flesh I hate. I want you to use me. And let the Spirit guide. I want you to use me. 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 Use me.
This was GS Megaphone's latest video, Use Me. I'm Teeny, you're in the zone, and let's check in with Michael.
All right, enough with the videos, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. And I've got two very precious people, important people sitting right next to me. If you don't know, let me introduce you. We got Felicia, we got Betsy sitting right next to me. And, you know, we've been talking about, this thing regarding sex and the media and the internet and, redefining virginity. And we've looked at all the things that you shouldn't do in regards to sex. But now we're going to talk about some things that, that you probably should do. Now, me personally, I'm a knucklehead. I got a hard time understanding these concepts. So that's why I got these two girls here. Now, let me ask you a question, right? So me and this girl, we like dating, right? So, it's our first date. I walk her up to the porch and, we feeling one another. She digging me, I'm digging her. We all into one another and I'm about to go for that first kiss. So, what? Have I extended the boundaries or, this boundary thing that we talking about? What's your opinion on that?
My whole opinion is, it's probably okay to go for the kiss, but don't move any further than that, because when you're in a relationship, you set boundaries before you go with that person. You tell that person, this is what I want. I want trust in this relationship, and I want us to both talk about God. You don't want to get too far in a relationship where you get caught up in each other and you lead into temptation with that other person.
Okay, I'm digging you. But I want to see what she got to say, because she might agree with me. So am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. It's okay to kiss, but after a while, you're going to need to, set your boundaries and tell her how you feel and tell her that you are worthwhile. And by setting those boundaries, you're telling her that you do respect her and love her for the person she is. And respect comes from that.
Okay, all right. I dig what y'all saying. I'm still a knucklehead, but I dig what y'all saying. But now we're going to kick it right here. We're going to stop right here and then kick it over to Mike, because he's got a lot of stuff to talk about and tell you what else is coming up tonight. Mike?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. He is a knucklehead, and that's why he has to wear the hat. And it's a little problem. He gets embarrassed sometimes. I'm playing, man. Jeffrey's got some shout-outs. What is that?
I want to send a shout-out to my friend Sophia and Amber. I want to send a shout-out to my mom and dad, my friend London, my two sisters, and my two nieces.
Did you forget anyone?
Mike and Michael.
Thank you. But right now, one of my personal favorites is Earth Suit with One Time here in the zone. It's a good one.
Follow me down the road to the realms of the rhyme. People love the rock, come and rock one time. When we make the sound, you know that like you got shine. People love the rock, come and rock one time. Anyone does us, let me have the wine. People love the rock, come and rock one time. Making me feel so fine, all over all the time. People love the rock and the Father come and fill us. One time, one time, one time, one time, one time. Yeah, I like it, fellas. One time, one time, one time, one time, one time. Everybody, get your hands up and grab them on new one that's falling more than you can stand up. Got the vision for the rough terrain, desolate the scene. Lord, hit me one time, infiltrate the mind. Everybody, everybody, body, body, everybody, body, body, yeah. Everybody, body, body, it's a one-time shot. Father, come and fill us one time, one time. Father, come and fill us. Father, come and fill us one time, one time. Father, come and fill us. Follow me down the road to the realms of the rhyme. People love the rock, come and rock one time. When we make the sound, you know that like we got shine. People love the rock, come and rock one time. Anyone does us, let me have the wine. People love the rock, come and rock one time. Making me feel so fine, all over all the time. People love the rock and the Father come and fill us. One time, one time, one time, one time, one time. Yeah, I like it, fellas. One time, one time, one time, one time, one time. Smoke from the wick yesterday, burnt the candle. Daily shots of rules that I can handle. I see you going blind when you find the philosophies of this player, man. You can't, cause it's a spectacle. Everybody, everybody, body, body. Everybody, body, body, yeah. Everybody, body, body. It's a one-time shot. 도레미 파솔라 지도 딜라 소파미 레도 몸을 맞춰 왼게 리비고 본다 아래쪽고 소백이네 세기네 대기네 책이네 백이네 마이크 ቃ리기네 darkness talking that's how you're my psycho. Parachute is in the house so pick up the tailers. Psycho in the beginning, feminine right there, gotta get ready to get this. Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Father, come and fill us. One time, one time, one time, one time, one time. Yeah, I come and fill us. One time, one time, one time, one time, one time. Hey, I don't know. Follow me down the
All right, that was Irvsu and One Time. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to come back with a group called the Benjamin Gate. And that song is called All Over Me. But I want you to have that remote and stay locked into the zone.
Welcome back. I, along with all the other Zone staff, would like to invite you to be part of our studio audience. Give us a call at 513-221-4888. And we want your video requests. Tell us what you guys want to see by going to surfthezone.com. Now it's time for a band from South Africa who say they want their music to be a gateway from the world to God. It's Benjamin Gate with All Over Me in the Zone.
Jesus, love
All right, now we've been talking about 5 weeks of discussing sex in young America. Now you're about to hear students all over the country talk about these different issues that we've been talking about for the last 5 weeks. So we're going to touch it through the Life Zone report with our own Becca Pruitt-Denny. So stay locked in. Check out this Life Zone report.
This special Life Zone is the last in our series on sex and young America. Stay tuned at the end of the segment for information on how you can learn more on this series. Viewer discretion is advised. We all know that one thing can and does lead to another. So it's important to set boundaries before you even get into a relationship.
I realized that it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be to get to a point where I would go further. And I thought I was in control. And when I realized that I wasn't and that I couldn't be in situations like that and still be in control, then I had to make a choice.
The only thing you can do is just constantly fleeing from it.
Walking away from the situations is hard because it's killing the flesh. It's killing that little voice inside you that says, oh my gosh, this feels so good, this feels so right, you're so wanted, you're so needed.
Even if you've made the mistake, if you've had sex in the past, or if you've been promiscuous to the point where you're uncomfortable with it, even if you haven't had intercourse, that's not something that is unforgivable. If you decide that you're sorry for that, and if you ask for forgiveness for that from God, and maybe from your parents or from whomever, or even if you just decide, I don't want to do that again. I realize that I'm worth more than that. You can totally, it's wiped clean, and you can just go on, and every relationship after that, it can be a pure relationship, and you're forgiven.
I'd say the hardest thing is just staying in groups, being with your friends instead of one-on-one. I'd say that's pretty hard because a lot of temptations come up in one-on-one. Little things lead to big things, and a lot faster than they do when you're with groups.
When you have other people who believe the same things that you do and the same morals and the same purity values, then it's really easy to stay in sync with that. And I don't know how it would be if I didn't have that.
I've surrounded myself now with girls and my friends that were like, we're going to do it and we're going to stick it out, even if everybody says, you guys are fools for doing it, because you're missing out on everything in life. And you know what? 40 years down the line, when everybody's still getting divorced as much as they are now, who's going to be the one that's going to be like, I stuck it out for the right reason?
First of all, set in stone what your boundaries are and what you believe and who you are and decide who you're gonna hang out with and who you're gonna associate with, because that is a big decision right there. That's gonna determine, what parties you go to.
So the lights won't go off. We will not be alone in a basement at 3 o'clock in the morning, or we're not going to go drive somewhere so that we can have some time alone to talk.
We can go out and do this. We are given the freedom to go and do drugs, to go and have sex, to do what we want, but we choose not to. You tell somebody that doesn't agree with us, okay, stop having sex for a week, a month, a year. No way, man, I would never do that. Well, you're the one that's chained. You're the one that doesn't have an option, that can't abstain anymore. You can't be a virgin. I can go out and have sex anytime I want, but I choose to be a virgin and choose to remain this way. And it's a hard struggle. It's a hard decision that I've made. But it's not because I'm bound to this Christian rule that I have to follow. It's because this is something that I want. This is something that I really value, and this is something that I'm really striving for.
God is a perfect, loving Father who wants the best for us. He sets bounds for us to keep us from STDs, pregnancy, broken hearts, and unhealthy, destructive relationships. Sex is a beautiful, wonderful thing meant for marriage. Sex in Young America is part of a larger series and is now available from the National Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families. For more information on how you can obtain a copy of Sex in Young America, please visit sexinyoungamerica.com or call 513-521-6227.
I'm in the zone, you're in the zone, and let's go to Mike.
Hey, we're all in the zone. We're going to continue our topic about Sexting Young America and boundaries. And Mike and Vicky were here giving me some insight on the topic. And, you know, they were talking about establishing boundaries. But now, what happens when you've already crossed those boundaries? Before you knew any better, you know, say you've lost your virginity. And now you're back to the point to where you knew what you did was wrong. But how does that change your boundaries?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to ask God for forgiveness, and you have to set new boundaries, and you need to ask yourself the right question, which isn't how far can I go, but how pure you can be in your relationship. And it's hard to change those boundaries once you've crossed them, but if you put your full faith in God and you trust Him, He will help you pull through it.
You need to stay away from those boundaries. I mean, you need to know where they are and stay far away, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. Me, myself, I came up as a player in the game, and I was surrounded by pimps and hustlers and all that type of stuff, so my virginity really didn't mean that much to me. But when I found God, I recognized that I needed to make a change, and that was the only way I was able to change. So I suggest anyone in that position to seek God first, because He's the only one that can help you change.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing we can do personally to make ourselves straight. That's why we've got Jesus, and that's why we've got His grace, and that's why we've got His blood. And He gave that to us because He loves us. We got a break right now, so you stick around, watch these commercials, suffer through them like I will, and we'll be right back here on The Zone.
My name's Adrian.
My name's Felicia.
And we will see you next time on The Zone.
Next week on The Zone.